Hey, it's Cindy Kennedy with your Mojo Boost today so you can stay inspired, motivated, and reflective on how you can continue to thrive in life and in business. So today, I'm quite excited because I want to talk about something that not only am I passionate about, but I think is vital, and that is to become an effective networker. Now, I know, often when we think about networking, images of schmooziness and sleaziness and what can you do for me and who do you know comes to mind, right? But the true networking has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with handing over your business card, how many business cards you get. It's what you can offer someone else, and also asking for what you need. The heart of networking is to create lasting, healthy relationships that allow you both to leverage each other's gifts and strengths and be able to celebrate and share in each other's successes. And that all happens when you think about networking, not from what you can get, but from about how you can connect with another human being. So this means we need to open up a dialogue. And where we go wrong is right from the outset. Because what do we ask? Or what do we ask? What do you do? Right? Okay, that sounds like a very normal, well-accepted question to ask. But here's what happens. The second you ask that, what do people say? I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mechanic, I'm a coach, right? We give our title or our role, which is usually not memorable, because how many coaches and how many accountants and how many lawyers are out there, right? So you kind of fall into just the blur. But secondly, giving an answer like your title or your role feeds into the natural human brain way of having preconceived notions and bringing all of our plethora of experience and stories to how we see you. So for example, if I told someone I'm a life and leadership coach, either someone's going to have no idea what that is, so they might ask me, and we might be able to kind of keep moving along into a dialogue, but I want to do everything I can to open up the door and invite someone in. Or they might actually think they know what it is, so they're going to make assumptions, it's this airy-fairy kind of foo-foo thing, right? Or they've had a bad experience with a coach in the past, and therefore they feel that's what coaching is, and therefore that's probably what I would offer. We don't want to close the door. So I want to share with you a very different way about going about things that will make you memorable and also create the connection that you want to create. So I'm going to give you an example. I was asking a very lovely man what he did, and he said, well, I'm a senior policy officer. No, nothing at all against policy officers, I promise. But I just want to show you what can happen. This is what a lot of us do. In our minds, we're thinking, oh man, this is so not going to be interesting, or I have no idea what that really means. There's no way there'd ever be synergy between us. So we shut off. Even if we're still looking at the person and nodding and smiling, we've shut off, which means the dialogue, the true connection won't happen. But then I asked him, okay, so what's the difference that you make? And he said, well, we actually create access to goods and services to remote communities. Now that's interesting. Okay, well then why is that important to you? Well, it allows remote communities to be sustainable and to the equality aspect of being able to offer them access to goods and services that metropolitan communities already have access to. You see, now I'm starting to get to know a little bit about how this person ticks, what's important to them. And lastly, I said, is there a story that you can share about the type of work that you do and how it impacts them? And he said, absolutely. He said there's a remote Aboriginal community that all community members, they have to travel 2 hours on an unstained, non-stained, very bumpy road to get to a landing strip in an airport. Which means when they're sick, can you imagine the type of bumpy ride that they'd have to actually go through just to get some help? So his organization is able to fund, and they did, an airstrip directly in this remote community's area, which allowed the Royal Flying Doctors to fly in and offer health services directly. Now, come on. How different is that than actually saying, I'm a senior policy officer? There's so much more to this person, and there's so much more to you. Do not devalue the worth, the impact you have. Share it. That's what's going to make people lean in. And I want you to ask those questions to someone else if they're starting to get caught up into the what my title is, what my role is. What's important to them? Why do they do what they do? And when this happens, you're going to go home and you're going to look at these cards and you're going to go, I remember this person. This is the person I talked to about sustainable communities. This is the person I found out absolutely is passionate about the environment. Right? Who knows? And you yourself will stand out for them as well. And that is when people lean in, pick up the phone, and the conversation continues. And you will become each other's biggest cheerleaders and biggest advocates. So that's the tip. What is the difference that you're making? Why is it important to you? And think of a wow story, a testimonial feedback that you can offer so we can understand the true impact and success that you have on people, on teams, at work. And that's today's Mojo Boost. Can't wait to hear your feedback. Get out there, shake it up a little bit when it comes to networking, and I'll see you next week.